We have science. We have Mike with Faraday Research. We have Nathan with Old Man Builds. And we have birthday boy Bernie of 4 decades old. Today, thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
Well done, brother. Happy birthday.
Just in time, we have Joe.
What's up, Joe?
Hey, happy birthday, Bernie. What's going on, everybody?
Well, literally just hit the live, so as the wizard you are, you showed up right on time.
Right on, man.
Right on.
Yeah,
right
I've been doing some weird stuff that's making me run late.
So you're officially part of the team and crossed over to full weirdo fringe science, or what are you working on?
I don't know that I wasn't always on that team, but I mean, I've been getting my feet wet with it a little bit. So I'm working with the Tesla coil. That's what I was doing. But I was doing a couple different things with it, with a couple of different like side arrays. Which one of them was throwing off some nasty energy, so like I had to kind of like
That's just brutal.
Oh dude, it was like a and I was like, uh-oh, I think I have a sunburn. like instantly.
Like radiation nasty energy stirring up.
Let's put it this way, man. It went straight into for all the liquid in my body because like I could literally feel where every one of my blood vessels were.
That's
I've had those days.
That can't be good. That can't be good.
Yeah, no, it probably wasn't the best.
Yeah.
No, probably close to the worst. Definitely don't make burning through your entire cells that you feel through your blood.
Can we say Geiger counter, everybody?
Geiger counter? Well, I'll tell you what I did was I did the same thing I did the last time where I took the wire down the center and ran it 180 degrees in phase. Okay, but I did one different thing this time. I took the loops that I had away on top of it. That was the magnetic component, right before the scalar component. Those 3 components together made it nice and symmetrical, so it was a nice figure 8. It would throw out energy and you wouldn't even smell any ozone or anything. It was just very clean.
So
what I did was
the infinity loop, or what's it called? The Nancy Hutchinson always calls it the. Why can't I think of the name? Anyways, the figure 8, as you were saying, but it's
that's right. So that's how I originally had it set up. But what I did this time was I did away with the loop on the top, and I put it closer down on the rod, and then I made like a halo that's also out of phase, and I threw it on top of it. And as soon as I did that, it collapsed the scale. It collapsed the scalar component of it, and just started chucking it out in every direction.
Mobius strip. Thank you.
Hopefully there's no gamma going on there.
I feel fine. I mean, I didn't feel like hurt by it, but like I wouldn't have. I turned it off immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, just say you have a problem if you turn green in the next 24 hours.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see how it goes. I mean, at the end of the day, hopefully it doesn't turn into the screwdriver slipping, right? I mean, this thing was only at 10 volts for crying out loud.
Oh.
See, and that's why people actually really need to take the safety side of this serious, because like you just said, only 10 volts, you shut it off immediately, yet you still instantly felt a sunburn, which means you were actually getting harmful burning radiation exposure.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it went away right away though. And I don't have any visible burns except for where I accidentally grazed the piece of rubber that was clearly room temperature. because it was like shrink tubing, right? Well, you could tell what shrink tubing looks like when it's anything warmer than room temperature because it starts to like glisten a little bit and stuff like that. It was totally normal, and I accidentally like raised it ever so slightly, and it immediately cauterized me. So, yeah, I'm telling you, man, it was at 10 volts.
I tell you that thing's powerful.
Oh yeah, that's no joke.
Realize it until you start messing with it and forcing it into places it doesn't like to go.
I knew what I was doing going into it, but I didn't think it would be as instantaneous of an effect as it was.
Right,
I
like
figured that I'd at least get to observe something cool.
Experimenting with taking it out of resonance and harmonic balance to see what the effects were, right?
It was never out of resonance. That's the problem.
You ever thought that maybe possibly it could have been like a microwave?
I mean, it well could have been. Like I said, it definitely had an effect on like the, like my veins. Like I could feel where my veins were for like 10 minutes.
Oh, wow!
So he's using a Slayer exciter that I built, right? And that thing's beautiful at putting everything in the room in resonance that the field's in. So Joe's inside the field. So guess what? He starts playing with himself, right? It's getting in you. Those days you just shut it off, man. Take off your shoes, go outside, put your feet in the mud, and call it a day.
Well, that's exactly what I did. Was I walked barefoot outside, and then Sheila came into my head, and I found the tree to hug with smooth bark. It was a birch tree. And it did work. So, plus.
You got to discharge yourself.
Yep.
I'll tell you, that mud's a beautiful thing, man.
Grounding. Yep. Yeah, be careful with that stuff, man. You could have hit yourself with some microwave there.
Mike, it's crazy radiation exposure, and you also have to make sure it's in the right geometry and shape and not all sketchy like this coil design that when I turned it on for the first time, it literally seized up all of my muscles, causing pain, and it's because it's not in like a nice flow. It's crossing over itself over and over, canceling out.
How many pegs does it have?
2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 too, or 14 or 14. 14 pegs.
It's a bad number.
Right?
You need like 12.
Exactly.
You need 24. 6. You got a bad number.
Yeah, it's in a parasitic waveform.
They all cross over each other, Bernie. It's just what numbers you're at. Remember when Sheila told you destructive resonance or constructive and destructive? Well, you got the destructive.
Exactly, and that's why it's like it was given to me to try out. I turned it on once, instantly felt it, looked at it, was like, yeah, never again. And it's like the person was selling them for a couple $1,000s a unit, claiming they will heal all your diseases depending on what frequency you put through it. And it's like, yeah, no, that probably is gonna amplify your disease and discomforts.
Hold on, for that coil, a couple $1,000.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. I do not associate with that individual, and he gave me one to try. I didn't actually pay for it, but never endorsed them. Was down to experiment. The experiment said don't turn it on again, but I am going to salvage the actual audio. What's the word? The frequency
audio
generator.
Amplifier. Yeah, frequency audio generator.
So check this out. With what I was just telling you about, the piece that I put on that made what I did like bad. Okay, like I actually have like objective evidence that that it's a scalar component, right? Because I had the halo piece And what I did was had it rigged up to where it was lighting my gas tube normal, right? And as soon as I run it right in front of it into the field, it'll actually kill the energy to the tube immediately. And it's centric, because that's where the scale, the way that I rigged it is so the center of it is the scalar component. So the closer you come to the center, it just kills all the energy right out the center. So it's actually changing the vector of the field geometry. And yeah, that's, I have a video of it. It's actually pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can we play the video?
I mean, you can. Yeah. I could send it to one of you guys. I can't present it.
Put it up on Facebook, Joe, and I'll pull it.
Okay. I'll dip out, do that, and then come back. Be right back.
In the meantime, man, freaking StreamYard just slaughters the video quality. It's not even. Oh man, I'm sad. I have to convert these files. They're like an old AVI or something, so it doesn't let me preload it, thus the buffering.
MP3s. The old MP3 files.
Now I can see the stuff moving in this one.
Right, and it's two counter spirals to each other. And then we get...
Curious to see if this water is starting to... let's check on my water, see if it's frozen yet.
Sounded like high voltage.
Ooh, it is freezing. Ooh. Okay, we almost have a frozen water dish.
That's pretty quick. That was only like half hour.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of your freezer.
Things freeze faster when you fill it up more. Excuse me. Maybe show that video, the last video I did of the Howard Johnson motor I'm working on.
Yes. Let me pull that up.
Play like the first 5 minutes. It'll show how the gating thing works. I'm sure people will be interested in that.
Come on, slow computer. It's so backwards of a world we live in. Like, my newest computer runs the slowest, and it was supposed to upgrade the old one, but the old one seems to work better.
Crazy.
So in this one, it's not the above monoatomic white clouds that have clustered into the spirals. It's the bottom copper hydrate or copper hydroxide, whatever the compound is. But it was just simply from disturbing the base settled layer from sucking a bit into a turkey baster, and as I pulled it up, it brought just a little cloud of the copper hydrate with it, and as that cloud went from the surface of the water through the different structured exclusion zones of alternating charges, positive to negative, that I guess is what causes the rotation within it somehow. It's very interesting. Not convection currents, not physical force, but simple charge differential causing it. But like almost looks like something you'd see from the Hubble. Did you have that video, Nathan? Or I'm still trying to pull up Mike's.
Yeah, so it swirls one way with one side and one way the other.
Yes, sir. Counter rotating always.
And do they ever swirl so the way they're wrapped?
That I have to start experimenting with and seeing. I would say no, because I pretty much wrap everything counterclockwise, and then you have the two spinning different directions. But I don't know, right? And then the way things are supposed to flush in the northern hemisphere versus the southern hemisphere, more tests to be done, really.
Well, most fields go out based on the direction of the winding. So it'll create one field, and then anything else that's energy will counter rotate the other way.
That does make sense. And sorry, trying to load up two things at once. So there's the two, and it's separated by this. You see it's covered in aluminum, but it's a copper solenoid with an aluminum shell. And then once I removed that from the center, we have this one. So you can see it's no longer there, and all of a sudden it's one giant spiral, no longer two counter-rotating.
Man, that's rad.
Right? Just galaxies in jars.
It's like spiraling like a galaxy right there. It looks cool.
Right. They always do. It's mesmerizing. But, right, back to what we were doing, Mr. Mike Faraday's latest video on the Howard Johnson magnet motor.
Nice.
If I can get it to load. Mr. Mike, you there? We lost Mike.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah,
Perfect. All right, you can tell us what we're about to launch.
Yeah, just play like the first 5 minutes of it. It'll show the gating and how the magnet arrangement accelerates the magnet on the wheel in a circular motion.
And, there we go. There we go.
All right. Full screen that. Don't have any sound on it.
You can't hear the sound?
I don't hear the sound.
One sec. Need new internet. Is internet better in America? Or does it suck just as bad as Canada?
I think it's better in America unless it's your Jarvis.
Yeah. He's got some internet problems there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, just about every Canadian that I know that streams has connection problems.
Mine's been pretty solid, I think.
Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah.
Well, it's got to go for that big government filter is why.
Yeah, Mike, you're in Toronto, like Canada's one city, right?
Yeah.
Is it gonna work? I think maybe. There we go. Just 5-10 minutes later.
Quite a bit
There
of
we go.
work. So for many years, I've researched this one person, and I've never actually tried to replicate or try to attempt to do what he was doing. And I'm referring to Howard Johnson, the guy who made the permanent magnet motor that basically ran perpetually. So this is kind of what my new project. I wanted to try this for years and years and never had a chance to do it. So I figure, you know what? Let's dive into it. Let's try to figure this thing out. So over the last few years, I've watched a lot of videos about guys that have been working on it, and I've also studied Howard Johnson himself. Before we get into the rest of the video, don't forget subscribe bottom right hand corner. Also, give me a thumbs up at the end of the video. So, part of what I do on my YouTube channel is also I try to debunk stuff, and I try to replicate stuff that supposedly works. So whether it's the Bendini motor, Adams motor, the N machine, all these experiments that I've done in the past, a lot of them did work and some didn't. So this one here, I think, is going to be my biggest challenge yet. Don't forget, if you haven't become a Patreon, you could subscribe. All the links for my PayPal, Patreon, all that stuff's there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as we have our live show that we do every Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. And I hope you can join us, League of Extraordinary Inventors. So don't forget to check us out on Friday night. So this is my new build. First of all, I'm just going to show you what I've done. So I've taken basically the same wheel that I had for the Renegade. I've made a rig for this, okay? And I've used polyethylene plastic, put the little feet at the bottom, put the shaft in. See if I can lift this thing off. There's the base there. So I put the shaft in, put everything in, glued everything into place. Everything's really, really tight. And so anyways, the wheel spins really, really good. Very little friction, and it'll spin for a long time. So as you can see, I got these aluminum plates. They're 1/4 inch thick by about 3 inches long by 2 inches wide. And in between these two plates, there's a neodymium magnet and a neodymium magnet in between here. So I got two sets. Now they're in repulsion mode. So they're trying to repel each other. All right. Some of the field does get through the aluminum, but a lot of it is called gated. And this was what Howard Johnson was working on, magnetic gating. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to spin the wheel very slow here. And I want you to watch how it will pull it in. And then as soon as it gets past the center point where it's gated, it will repel it. So let's just kind of look at it. Look, pull in, repel, pull in, repel, pull in, repel. That's what he was talking about. So as soon as I get this perfected, the legend goes that this thing runs forever. So I think I'm off to a really, really good start here as far as trying to figure out how he was doing this gating. See how it's pulling in, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. And it's gated because, as you know, magnetism can't go through aluminum to a point. So either I have to perfect the design of my gating magnets or whatever. So that's going to be part of this whole research. Now, Tom Bearden swears by he actually did it. It ran for several hours. It wouldn't stop. The gating of the magnets was a huge part of it to make this actually work. But I just built this rig basically in the last couple of days, and I set up these magnets tonight. And I think I'm off to a pretty damn good start. Look at that. Look how it's pushing, pull, push, pull. Now, if I were to get maybe 2 or 3 others like this set up strategically around the wheel, who knows? I could get perpetual motion. But I think I'm off to a really, really good start. Look at this. See, it's pushing, pull, push, pull,
push, pull, push, pull. Cool, eh?
Yeah,
So
that's good
this
enough.
field
Bernie.
on its own will run very freely. It's also got a bit of weight to it, so it's got inertia. So if I spin this like this thing will run for quite a while. Like I just gave it a small spin. Watch. Now, because I got the gated magnets, in theory, this thing will run longer than normal. So,
So cool.
yeah, I'm diving into the unknown.
Hey, Mike, you might want to talk to Papa Bale, man. Like, I know that he has a rig very similar to that, and he has a pretty high efficiency off of, like, if you turn it three like magnets or three gates or whatever,
Right.
you know, it'll go and go and go for like quite a while.
Yeah, so that's what I have to do. I was just testing that gating idea, and it seems like it's working. So
Yeah, man.
I gotta set up about 3 or 4 more of those.
The build looks great.
Yeah, it's turning out really good. Is Bernie there? Doesn't have to play the full.
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Yeah, you could cut it off. Yeah, but that's basically what I
All right.
wanted to show with that gating and how that works. How it pulls it in, and then as soon as it passes the center point where it's gated, it pushes it out. So it's a pulling in and pushing out.
Very cool.
So
It's
the other thing
interesting.
too is
how does what causes
like
the gating? Like, there's not a switch, or
no, there's
just the
no
geometry?
switching at all. It has to do with the aluminum in between the two neodymium magnets, and when you can find that field and you're pressing it together, because the field wants to spin out and come through the bottom, right? So now, because of the aluminum there, it's not allowing that field to do its normal geometry around the magnet. It's confining it. It's basically trying to focus to a smaller point, right? So
Yeah, it's
when it goes from
giving disruptive interference in that one spot, allowing the rotation to go through.
It's probably actually, I think I would have to put it on a ferro cell to see how the fields, the geometry of the field is. But I have a feeling right in the middle where the actual gating is, it's a cancellation of the field or a squeezing or confining.
I think it's a I think that it's a condensing of it. You can't get rid of the field, and magnetic fields that are permanent magnets don't cancel like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the distance between the two plates too. He's only allowing a certain amount of energy flow out of that distance, and that's why he's not getting so much.
Pull back. Yeah.
But it does disrupt the geometry of the magnetic field when you have that, with the aluminum there, because it's pressing it toward the other pole and then pressing the other pole out. So it becomes almost like concave-ish in a way.
You're warping the field. Yeah, you're kind of warping the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they sell those little magnetic sheets you could buy on Amazon. I just get one of those, put it right over top, and see exactly where the lines are.
Yeah, get that magnet, or even build a ferro cell. That might even work even better.
Oh yeah, good. I was just trying to find you a cheap $5 solution to.
Where do you buy those on, anyways?
Just Amazon.
Just on Amazon, they got it. Yeah.
Yep, magnetic paper, or what do I call it? It'll bring up a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, Ken Whelan likes to use them all the time, and man, some of the stuff, the way that he makes the arrangements and stuff, you can see some real cool, field geometries and stuff. Helps you understand it better, if anything.
Yeah, well, your fridge magnets, whether you know it or not, are shelled, which basically means they took steel and put it over the outside of it. You would think that would amplify the magnetism, but it doesn't. It cancels it out where that shell is. So, yeah, kind of different than what you would think it would be, but it works.
Yeah, it's like you're pinching it to a point.
Yeah, focusing it.
Yeah. So I think there's something good here. That's why I want to pursue this more.
That's
I
cool.
think we're all in agreement with you there, Mike.
Oh, absolutely, because that's part of the engineering problem that lots of these claims of magnetic motor over unity have, is that they can't get past the permanent fields, where what Mike's doing is engineering past that in a manner that's not costing energy each time you go through it, because it's built through the geometry and some sort of weight or field interference that breaks the field down in those specific spots.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do some timing on the push too. You know what I mean? Like the distance it takes before you want to push it again. You know what I mean? So that you can get a rapid, because just putting them everywhere doesn't work. If you calculate the distance there, you can get it to push. You know what I mean? And then it can really start to get going.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, most definitely. Yep, most
They're gonna
definitely.
come for you, Mike. They're gonna be like, you have a working system.
That whole thing that you're doing, Mike, is like a whole different side of it, because rather than like trying to harness and direct like a lot of the other stuff, is
Right.
like what Bernie's doing, what Nathan's doing. You're trying to exploit, which is great too, because once you know how to like use something and then change it ever so slightly, whatever, you're able to use that to your advantage. So it's sometimes it's like, don't fix what you know.
Right. And the other thing too, I think will be a key factor down the road when I do get this thing running, is I think the momentum or the inertia in the wheel actually will play a part in this. If I can sustain a wheel in motion, or any kind of mass in motion tends to stay in motion, right? So if that magnetic field and that the transition from stage to stage to stage going all the way around, the inertia created in the wheel will give it that extra energy it needs to make it to the next stage. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
So
yeah,
you're
but it
always
does also work off of a bell curve, that sort of situation, because, like, it'll start to drop off after a while once it hits an equilibrium. So, that inertial energy that you have and whatnot, once you add a load to it or whatever, now it's no longer in an equilibrium. So then,
well, I've got some other ideas that I'm going to throw into it. I'm actually going to use the motion of the wheel to its advantage. I'm not really going to talk about that right now, because I want to try it first to see if it will actually work. So that'll be the next step.
cool.
Yeah. So it'll be kind of a hybrid. Let's say that it'll be a hybrid, but there will be no external battery source, going into this thing. Oh, great.
Nice.
A train coming by.
I mean, if it does truly go, more or less perpetually, I mean, it would be just interesting to see what like some simple like gear reductions and a flywheel would do for it. Then you could take it right off the flywheel and not affect the, the motion all too much. With the load, you'd be able to take off more that way, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. Sorry, I got a train going by you.
Oh wow. Okay.
What? Canada has cities that have trains in them? What? Oh, it's because you're in Toronto. That's right.
We're 20 billion in on a train that's never been built yet.
Yeah, you're California. You got the monorail express, right? Simpsons called it.
Yeah. Dude, at this point, I'd go with a steam engine if that's what got us there, but they still can't build that.
We still can't. We don't build anything anymore in this country. They built the highway systems over the course of like a decade and a half. They built the railroads over the course of 2 decades.
Yeah.
For all across the entire country, and then they can't manage to like run more than a couple miles of tracks or build a couple of roads anymore without it costing trillions of dollars. They don't have it figured out.
Nope.
Well,
Hey,
they
Bernie,
have
this
it
your garden?
figured out just how to scam everyone. All right.
Yeah, how to embezzle the money. They figured that part out. That's what they
Mhm.
did.
So here, we have the 6-foot lettuce plant. When I gave it some of the purple monoatomic gold itself, not just the ionic water, you can see it's just as tall as the sunflower. And yes, it's at the end of the season, so it was going to seed, and this part sprouted, but you still have the other 4 feet here, and that this is a lettuce leaf that regrew. We actually had about 20 to 30 salads picked off of this one plant alone. It was absolutely insane compared to the other lettuce right next to it that was just getting the water. And yeah, has some sort of magical properties to it. And then the
Like
kale,
Jack and the
pretty big.
Beanstalk over there.
Yeah.
It's what you got to go for. Take me to the clouds. If only I could get giant beans. But we got almost giant lettuce. But it costs the price of gold, so I don't know if if it's economically worth. There's Gerald. Gerald, you able to make it?
What's up, Gerald?
Emailed you the link,
Hey,
brother.
what's going on, man?
Much love. Okay, I'm gonna be back in 1 minute. I have to find this drawing while Gerald is watching. That this she called herself a witch. She was a witch. She was a medium witch, but she said she found some portals, and I gotta get what she drew because it has a striking resemblance to what Gerald's working with.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, hey, Nathan, while he's doing that, you want to see if that video hit my channel yet? It might be on Shorts.
It's on your channel. Okay. That's why I didn't see. I thought you put it up on Facebook. Okay. You know, I used to grow zucchini in the backyard. I had my own garden. Yeah. The wife used to measure them for me.
My zucchini's
No
bigger than
comment.
your zucchini.
Oh, they were big, man. They're like a foot long. You gotta pull them right away, or else they get really super huge. Oh my God, that hurts.
Super huge.
Dude, I got a knot in my back right now, like under my shoulder blade, like right at my spine, and just breathing hurts sometimes. Oh. Oh my God. So, Joe, were you able to grow those crystals, by the way? I saw
They're working on it. When I got up before, I decided that I didn't want to leave my Tesla coil just going indefinitely with the door closed and out of my line of sight for all too long. Well, I have a live wire and salt water. Although it's not live in the same sense of the word, it's still, I like to be around.
No, gotcha. Yeah, when Bernie comes back, I'll put it up there for him so he has it.
Yeah, but that's still working. I got immediate crystallization off of it. Like pretty decent crystals too, but I lost my seed that I put in there. And rather than let it seed off of like standard like salt flakes, because I was only using regular salt, I put a quartz seed in there and then kind of started it back up. So we'll see what goes.
Nice.
Is Mr. G coming on?
Yeah, so you can see it's lighting up, found like where it starts to drop off. Now when I bring out like this halo piece, you'll see it blocks it as soon as I put it in between. And you can put just about anything in between and it won't block it. Like I've tried that before. But this the way that this is set up, it just blocks it out, shuts it right off. See right there.
Is it built with any special geometry in it?
It's just it's 3 wires that have their own section around the ring, and it's in a triangle, and then they all are tied up into a Celtic knot in the middle, but with space in between. So it's not a tightened knot. It's just looped. Each of them is looped within each other, so they're all touching with a loop. And it blocks it right out.
Nice.
Now that's the same thing that I put on the top of it. Where that wire's going in the top. I put it through that, and that is what started chucking like RF off of it like real hard. Because it was doing the same thing as the coil below it, and it was collapsing and just throwing it out.
Yeah, those things are lighting up from a good distance for you.
Oh yeah, and that wasn't at a very high voltage either. I want to say it was like 14, maybe something like that.
That's about where I run mine.
Now, when I had the loops at the top, they light up even brighter and further away. But this was more just about, seeing like what the interactions of the two, coils that utilize deconstructive interference was going to be.
Nice. I just want to say thank you to your listeners over there. You gave us $5 and was super.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Nice. That's cool, man.
That ain't even $5 he gave us. That's $5.
Hold on, man.
These days, that's worth more.
Yeah, I remember, dude. You know what? I know he had sent me something saying on a diagram. I don't know that I got it. But I did get one. So Joe and I talked about it, and here's half of the coil right here.
Mm-hmm.
So the other half's on the printer right now, and you're probably wondering what the center part is that pops out, because you probably know what the other part is. It's just basically for my number 1 coil to go on there and slide into it like that, so that I can run the wraps on it at a specific distance that I wanted. And then I have set up for 20 gauge wire, but I may set it up for 28 gauge and double it. So yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So we'll get both sides in there, man. We'll get it slapped together, you know what I mean? And then wrap the living daylights out of this thing. So it's pretty much, so you know it now, hollow in the back. It's got the rod available to go through the whole thing in the center. And this piece right here goes to the divider to separate it, which actually makes it easier when we want to separate the coils and just do the top half or just do the bottom half. Makes my job a lot easier.
Well, the geometry of that is obviously, awesome, because it's a bipolar setup. But you got to remember, by virtue of it being inverse one another, by simply wrapping it the same direction all the way around, actually makes the bottom inversely wound. So.
Yeah. And just so you know, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's what I was saying. So by wrapping it the same direction, top to bottom, point to base, from both sides, it's inversely wound at that point, and that means that when you put your primary there, that because it's the top bottom, it actually has the same directional winding, so it'll not screw up. That was something that Nathan and I were talking about extensively.
Yeah. Just so you know, the gap in there, by the way, is so the wire can transition from one layer to the next and do it easily without breaking the wire. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I built it a little oversized. Well, that's what I do, I guess. You know what I mean? Put enough in there so we can fry it and find out. So, I built it so we can put the ZVS on it and run it. Because it's a bipolar, it doesn't require grounding, and the ZVS is perfect for that. Where the cellular exciter is a forced oscillation, so you have to have a wire going in there for the secondary. So it's a little bit different. Could we set it up in that way? I guess we could. You know what I mean? Just hook it to the bottom
You
wire.
can always have the option to do it.
Yeah, you could try it. Yeah, I'll try it. Heck, I'll just put the rod down my original Stetson coil, run into this thing, and I just want to see what the heck it puts off when I spin it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we can play with this thing all day. So the good news is I have the STL. So as soon as I wind this thing and I make sure we're good, I'll put out the STL for everybody, and then you can shrink it. You know what I mean, to your wire size. So when you're in Cura, all you do is say, okay, I want it down like 10% or something, and I'll see if I can't get the numbers for you. But it'll be able to reduce the gap size in between it. What I will say, though, is it takes about a day and a half to get a half of one of these. And if you want to run it smaller, where you're running 32 gauge and it's tight from the top and bottom gaps in one of these, you're going to have to go to a 0.02 nozzle, okay? Because it won't print right. I tried it at 0.4 for Sean's, didn't work. 0.2 works. I run on mine a 0.6. You know what I mean? And it's flying through this. So of course it's obviously much bigger and there's a lot to be sanded out, but I'm still gonna have to maybe make a negative for this to put it on a base so that I can align the fins, or else it's gonna be a nightmare to wind. And then I got to run a piece of sandpaper in it, clean it up. You know what I mean? But that's pretty cool, man. I had a lot of pink guys. That's why it was free to me. And this is the first one we did. So it's a Pink Panther coil. And we'll see how it works out, man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see what kind of energy it puts off.
Well, we have Martin in the chat saying Merkaba-shaped coil. What does that mean? I guess we'll see, right? Well, I mean, I'll throw out what I think at least about it and some of the stuff that Nathan and I discussed. Anytime that you're dealing with conical geometry, especially at a 2-to-1 ratio, you're dealing with the base of it, which is going to be the highest amount of potential, right? But also at the highest degree of diffusion, right? And then at the very tip of it, you're going to have the lowest amount of potential at the lowest amount of diffusion. So it'll be the most concentrated at that point, which actually that creates the same as a crystal lattice, right? It creates like a vector that actually brings it together to the tip. Becomes a very concentrated field that comes out of the tip, but then actually goes out in a diffuse fashion. And it goes out in a diffuse fashion, similar to the geometry that it exhibits. That's because the compression zones are symmetrical to the geometry that's creating it, causing like an inward like collapse, but it crosses out and then goes into a state of diffusion. Now, when you have that and it's counterwound to the other side, you're basically creating the same type of thing that you have on Earth, where you have an equatorial plane, you have poles, and then you have a counter rotation that occurs, and it should create both their own geometries as far as that's concerned, but then it should also create a synergistic, larger field that comes off of it, forming a bubble is what it ought to. So That's sort of what I would expect out of it. But
Well,
I guess
I
we'll
want
see.
to see what happens is because we expect it all to go to the tip, right? Like you said. What if it actually came back as in compression in the center?
Oh, well, it absolutely does, because it becomes inverse. So the same as your geometry of a sphere, right, is inverse on the inside. This same geometry would be inverse on the inside. So you would get a very high compression zone in the center of it because it's mirrored.
So think about it this way too. If we change the inside just a little bit, we can put a static field right here. Now, Tesla coil field on the outside, if we run it on the negative, static field on the inside. We're building a gigantic capacitor that can't let it out. That's awesome. It's going to force that sucker to get so much energy in it. So that's kind of cool about this. Like, dude, we won't take long to change that geometry, put that in there, but it's really an interesting design. That's why I talked to Joe about it right away, and I just asked him, hey, they sent me this. What do you think? You know what I mean? How do we want to build it? And Joe's got a crazy #1 coil, man. I'll tell you, and it makes sense. It totally makes sense, but it'd probably be a nightmare to build. Okay, because
for that reason, you have the ring where the primary is going to go around the middle. All right,
no, look, because here's the thing. Because when you go like this, right, and you put the coil this way, you're getting a field that goes up and a field that goes down, right? You go either way on a single wind. But when you go this way, and then you coil it up the side right here, you know what I mean, like this, it gets confused in the way the energy wants to come out. It's crossing each other. You know what I mean? It's causing real problems in there. So when you go to start something up like this, you want to do the easiest design possible, right? Let's see that it flows. Let's see that it works. Then let's change it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Now, the idea that I did come up with, just so people are aware, was that it wouldn't have been one solid piece like that. It would have been just your top and your bottom with a space in between the two secondary coils. And your primary would have been actually between, but then also extending up traditionally and down, respectively, right? Like like you would expect in a normal Tesla coil.
So he did an Oregon center, so it had the S in it.
Right. So the solution to the problem was an S coil in the center that runs on a two-dimensional plane. So it's flat until you have the diameters that you need. And then you just continue the windings. And by virtue of changing the axis from that flat plane to upward, okay, you actually get the correct dimensional, the directional winding that's consistent with the coil that it's going, even though it's inverse, without changing the energy vector. And you would just put you'd put your power supply to the primary at the center of the S coil, so you'd have unilateral current, that would be equal. So you'd actually have a scalar component building out in the middle, but as soon as you introduce that second axis, vertical and downward, whatever, then you bring your magnetic component into play, which would then operate like a standard Tesla coil primary. So that was the idea, but obviously that's just it's a lot of work.
Well, it's just a lot to figure out and troubleshoot for the first time. One thing I'd like to do is take a half of this coil and do that with it, and then vert them out. Okay, do the winding out, because Sean did the winding out and the coil in the center, so it looked like a W, right? And that worked. And he said he went to the round one, didn't work. You know what I mean? He said he was doing this style, didn't work. He tried the inside one. He was having a lot of trouble getting it to work.
Yeah.
So this one I've seen a bunch, by the way. If you're into Otis T car and the OTCX1, you know exactly what this is. You know exactly what's in the center of that thing, and it's this. It is literally this. This is in the center of the OTCX1. This is why it
That's
kind of
the U-Tron, right?
not the U-Tron, but the centerpiece.
Okay.
The U-tron itself would be like this on its side, like this, right?
Okay.
Just like you're thinking of it, but without without this, and it would be filled with fluid. And the only way you're going to get that fluid activated was the Tesla coil field, by the way, just in case people didn't know that. But this is the Tesla coil that they have in the center of it. You know what I mean? That's specifically the way they design it. So the center flat piece would come out this way with all the capacitors on it. Okay. So it would be charging, pulsing, running the coil, going back over to the C part. Then it would go over to the U-tron. It would ignite the U-tron in frequency because of the RPM of it, go right back into the system and go right back around. That thing literally.
Another interesting thing that he had was he had a center spire running out the top of running through the center of it.
Of the whole coil, right?
And out the top of the vessel. And
the negative side.
And you'd be looking at creating the inverse field, through the spire, that would create both ionization and a field on the outside that would give you the counter of what's in the bottom of the inside.
So he was pulling in the energy of the atmosphere through it because they match each other. They're the same type of energy. That's why. So he wired it, Mike, like yours, so that you can just do perpetual motion through the entire thing.
You're right. It's modulated.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
Modulated perpetual motion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, this energy, just so people understand this, if you put it through these two type of coils the way I just did, I did this experiment recently. You can take a transistor and run it based on that. Okay, which is a big deal because you don't have to have the energy all the way modified the correct way. You just have to have it when it takes the gate and saturates the source and the drain. You get it to do your motion, but your frequency ultimately comes from your Tesla coil itself. So it's now modulating at that frequency. You just use the parts inside, you know what I mean, by using saturation of field instead of holes and electrons. So it makes a difference when you go to play with this thing and put it in modulation, and then where does it go into the capacitor? Does it meet the high voltage capacitor that you have going on there? It just it makes sense. It flows.
Yeah, the transistor works like communism. It just sees where there's too much and where there's not enough, and it takes it and gives it where it needs to go.
There you go.
So it collects it all for Stalin?
Yeah.
Something. One of them.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, it was muted there. Yeah. Well, should we keep her to an hour, or you guys want to keep going, or how you feeling?
Oh, dude, go another hour, Bernie. It's your birthday, man. Live it up.
Yeah, dude.
Tell us about the Bigfoot story. That's what they said it several times.
Oh, you want to hear the Bigfoot story? Oh, God.
You just have to know that you're going to have to come back on with me, Nathan, and Elias, too.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
To tell it again.
Bigfoot story, too.
Yeah, so.
Bless you, Calix. Appreciate the birthday gift. So, where I experienced the Sasquatch encounter was the coastal mountains of British Columbia off the Highway 3, which in the outskirts of the town of now I can't remember the name. Always happens. Got Headley, BC, famous for their gold mine. And it was at our friend Craig's place, and he's right on the border of the town, so that his property extended up to the side of the mountain into the forest. And we were staying in a camper that he had tucked away on like the far corner of his property, where it's like there's tall grass, like you can tell that nobody ever went there. So it was like this, whatever it was, and it was probably definitely a Sasquatch, was very territorial. And it was just at sunset. I was there with my ex-girlfriend Amber, and she had gone into the camper trailer. I was sitting at the back door of it having a cigarette, and all of a sudden I hear like the grunting noises coming from the tree line. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And all of a sudden Amber's like, Bernie, cut that out, it's not funny. And I'm like, that's not me. And then we're like, okay, what is that? Got this eerie feeling. And then she's like, man, you fucking stink today. And I'm like, dear, that is not me that stinks like a rotting carcass. And from there, I closed the camper door. I started like boarding it up a little, barricading it a little bit, because I saw like this big thing like move in the shadows of the trees. And then we're like talking for a little bit. She started to like fall asleep, and then all of a sudden we hear this shriek, howl, screech, scream is all how I can describe it. It's just this god awful sound. And the Sasquatch had gone from the tree line up to the cliff face of the center of the canyon, so the perfect acoustic echo to make this screech, cry, howl thing. And it was calling to another one that was like one mountain range over, and all of a sudden we hear this screech, howl, cry, shriek thing coming, yelling back to it. So there was two of them, and you could tell the other one was quite some distance away. And then about 10 minutes later, all of a sudden, I hear something like walking up to the side of the camper, and the window is like a good 8 feet up, and just all of a sudden hear the sniffing right at the screen window, like right in front of me. And it's like, what the heck could be 8 feet tall? And it's like not a bear, because a bear would have to like brace onto the camper. There was nothing there. And at that point, I was just freaking terrified, because the shriek, growl, howling, and everything. And what the heck is this? And I, instead of taking a picture or video with my camera, I just my phone, I had the flashlight on, and I sprayed cologne at the screen window, and all of a sudden just hear this thing drop and roll. And that was it until the next morning, when I go out, and sure enough, in this long grass, you have these giant steps coming from the tree line to the window. Then you have this 8-foot path, like just flattened path, of this thing rolling to this bush from the window. And I will forever regret not at least taking pictures of the flattened grass. Just in the moment, you don't think of those things. But sure enough, like exactly how it sounded, like it dropped, rolled, and got to this other bush, where it then had taken off. And it seemed like it was very territorial, very angry at us for being there, and definitely was trying to intimidate with what it was doing. It was investigating, yet like the growling, the like, yeah, I think it was like knocking on trees a little bit too at first. It was wild, crazy, terrifying experience. They're not aliens, okay? They are definitely like a mix between human style intelligence of a tribal system to, like a wolf pack, somewhere in between is what it seemed like, and how it was acting.
So tell me about how it smelled. It was that bad?
Yeah, like literally rotting carcass mixed with the worst BO you've ever smelled.
Oh man.
Like it's just pungent, repulsive, like it makes you gag almost. It's like that type of scent that like you struggle at breathing.
All right. So let me ask you, after this entire event like went down and everything and it left, like did you get lucky that night?
She was passed right out. I was terrified, keeping guard with some fireworks.
I mean, I just needed to know, because 60% of the time it works every time. You know?
And the other 40, I'm standing guard trying to stay alive. But, yeah, it's just the way she goes. And hey, How am I supposed to get lucky when she thinks I stink like a Sasquatch?
Nathan, your
Black
microphone's
Panther
being.
cologne, man. You don't know about that? 60% of the time, it
Oh,
works
thank
every
you.
time. It smells like Bigfoot's dick. You never heard this before? Anchorman, man. Come on.
Oh, yeah. See, there you
That's
go.
just dirty.
Just
Yeah.
dirty Joe.
I know.
Oh, yes. I think he has to ask everybody that, man. Make sure they got taken care of for all the pain and suffering.
That's
What's
a great
that?
story. Definitely not trying to take away from it, but once you talked about how he smelled, that you were with your girlfriend, you were spraying cologne, you walked right into it, bro.
What's that old saying? It smell like a Albanian wrestler's jockstrap.
That might actually be the closest thing that you might smell to it. I don't know, but
Oh my god!
That was so much worse than what I said.
are the Albanians now going to get us canceled?
Yeah, the
I
Albanian
don't think there's
wrestler's
enough of them to
jockstrap.
cancel us, bro. I think we got more subscribers cumulatively than they have in their country, you know.
that show is Fat Bastard through
Joe
his
is
jock
trying
slapping
to
the
get
fucking
us to war with Albania on my 40th birthday. All
That
right.
wasn't me, that was mine.
Oh my god!
You like that one? Eh?
Yo, that's hilarious, man.
Oh,
Very visceral.
That is what's-
Visceral.
oh.
Ugh. Ugh. No.
And I could see it,
no.
the black hair and everything going on, you know? Like,
Yeah, it gives you these visuals in your mind, right?
yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Y'all are strange. Y'all are a strange group of jockstrap smelling individuals, but I love you all
Not me.
nonetheless.
No, thank you. I think I wouldn't even wait. I would have been like packing up the camper, man, to get the hell out of there.
Right, but
Damn
so
right.
it was
Getting the
like
hell out of Dodge.
there was a good 100 to 200, no, 50 to 100 meters from where the camper was, of like this tall grass empty field, to then where the barn was, to then where like the house was, to then where the town was. So it was like, man, that was the biggest like part of the fear. Was it was like, we are not going to make it if we were to run before that thing would catch us before we got to the property line. And just in that moment, in that camper, there was like this sticker that was like sacrificial bloodlust or some crazy thing of like some metal band or some shit, where it was like, oh my god, have I been set up to be fed to the Sasquatch? What is going on?
No, it'd be really funny if you looked outside, you see the Sasquatch holding a friggin' tripod and a camera. Like those AI Sasquatch
Videoing you.
videos.
That's
Yeah,
not
he's-
AI, that's real.
It
He's
turns out that they're
vlogging.
just filming
He's, like,
for a Geico
vlogging.
commercial, you know? They talk
Wow.
about Bigfoot a lot where I live, and I mean I could see why. It's kind of like that, mountains, rural, lots of woods and lots of open land and that sort of thing. And what really gets me is that and it's kind of funny, is that many people, not just like a couple, like many people actually have like these life-size silhouette Sasquatch walking like things like on their lawn, but they always put them like in the trees and stuff there, and it's like a silhouette that they just paint black and stuff. And it's so dark. There's no street lights where I live, like at all. You're just in the mountains in the dark. You're driving down the highway and stuff with your high beams on. You just catch like the silhouette real quick. And even when it's kind of like there and you know that people have it, it always still catches your eye. It's like, whoa, what's that? Oh wait, yeah. Never mind. It's just plywood.
60% of Sasquatch sightings are just cut out cardboards 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. That's such a rad story, though, dude.
Well, yeah, it adds so much like to it when you tell them it stinks like shit out there. I mean, it's just you got to get into it.
That howl thing is like that known thing, too.
The screech, howl, cry thing, like it's creepy. I just got the hair up on my bed. back of my neck again. Like it sticks with you. It ain't no other animal. It's very unique.
What's crazy about that is I like saw something on like TV one time. Probably was just like one of those History Channel things, whatever. And they played like the sound, you know, and immediately I had like this familiarity with the sound, like I had heard it before, but like it didn't occur to me at the time, sort of thing. But then I'm like, yeah, but what else makes that sound? Nothing. It's like, but it's like the difference between like my child mind of remembering it and like my adult mind of now reasoning with the fact that I think I might have heard this before, and then like realizing that that doesn't sound like anything. So, you know, it's just strange. I never had an encounter, but you know, when I heard that, man, it like went right through me, and
Yeah,
that was
it
only on the
sticks
TV.
with you. Like once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. You got two different responses. The sober me would try to leave. The drunk me would be out there howling with it, dude. Like, just bring it. You know what I mean? At this point, just do it. Let's get this over with.
Well, you know, you want to know something? It seems like every encounter is very similar to what Bernie's saying. Every encounter, like that's how it goes. But you know what you don't hear about is people getting attacked. So chances are, if you just went out there and started chilling with it and it realized it's either going to run
Lots
away.
of stories of kidnappings by the Sasquatches. And if you look at like the newspaper stories from like the late 1800s, there's a couple from the Pacific Northwest where it was like young native women were like taken by the Sasquatch family and then like raped and then like bred in and then like 20 years later managed to escape and stuff. Like it's absolutely insane. You've never heard those before?
No, but I mean, it makes sense. They're just like trying to break their evolution. They're like, get us out of this. Like, make us more people like so we can exist. Like, please.
So my theory about the Sasquatch is that one, they're nocturnal hunters. Two, they're intelligent enough that like humans, they bury their dead, and that's why we don't really find the bones. But we do find different hominid skeletons in caves that have been buried and potentially could be that. Who knows? Who really knows? But there's something out there.
It's out there.
But I didn't actually get visual because I was too terrified. But there was something there. It was stalking us. It was establishing its territory, and it was creeping on us.
Sitting there peeing on the side of your trailer, the Marcus territory, you know, and be like, come on, man. Yeah.
Leaving some jock straps at the side of the trailer.
Okay, that's at the end of the season when the Sasquatch gets the fermented berries, and then it acts like a drunk human.
Right. That's when it starts throwing rocks, and then you hear something falling down the mountain, grunting. It's like, damn it.
So that reminds me of my friend's Sasquatch story of when he went out to one of the native rodeos, and that when he was there, all of a sudden these big rocks were being thrown and rolled down the hillside towards like the rodeo camp, and he's like, oh. And like some of the natives were like, Sasquatch, Sasquatch. He's like, oh, it's so funny. They're just trying to trick Whitey or whatever. And then he said the moment he saw the fear in the mother's eyes trying to grab their children, he knew that there had to be something. And then he said that they also heard that same sort of screech howl thing. And that's when everyone got the F out of there. So it's, yeah, the native populations, they do not hide the fact that they will tell you of their stories, legends, and experiences and encounters with them, and it seems they still interact with them over territory to today, right? Because it's like the rodeo place, it's like they only use that corral once a year for a week, then it's completely out in the wild. So it kind of makes sense why they would come at it. I don't know, but that was another story. They throw rocks and boulders. And apparently there's a similar story from when they were building the railroad through the Mount Western Canada there, and that supposedly the rail workers were also attacked by them throwing boulders down the side of the mountain at them or something. But who knows? Could just be repeating stories, or could be a recurring theme.
I mean, if you're just repeating stories, I mean, your experience aligns totally with what other people have experienced. So, I mean,
yeah, right. It's interesting stuff. I don't recommend trying to go out and find one.
yeah, I hear that.
There was. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna go off topic. So please continue.
So one last Sasquatch story in Canada is about 10 years ago in the province I live in, Alberta. The other city, Edmonton, there was like a group of biology researchers or something that started studying a Bigfoot population right outside of Banff, close to where I live, and that they had filmed a documentary. They were able to like capture like the Sasquatch grabbing these apples that they were leaving out for them, and it's like they had a whole bunch of cameras set up. You'd hear the Sasquatch like hoot to each other, calling like not the screech call from far away, but just like these little hoots when they're close together. And there'd be like one on each side of their camp. And then it's like you'd see stuff like starting to move. And then all of a sudden you just see this grab of the apple. And they apparently had gotten together enough evidence that they had actually filed in Ottawa to get the Sasquatch deemed an endangered species. And it was like unofficial news. And then it just disappeared completely, and they can't even find the documentary on YouTube anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the government does that stuff just generally, and it doesn't even have to be with something like Sasquatch. Like, for instance, in New York, we don't have breeding populations, according to the Department of Environmental Conservation, of like mountain lions, or wolves. But yet continuously and over and over and over and over again, people will show you all throughout the entire state trail cam videos, pictures, sightings, the whole 9 yards of both all the time. And then every so often, one will end up dead, and then they have to admit to it because now you have a body, not just a photo or a video. So they're like isolated incident. You know what I mean? They're like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And that's exactly how they run it. They're like, there's no population, sustained population. Yeah, okay.
They brought back the dire wolf.
Yeah, man. They're getting big. I saw them, man. They're getting big.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And it's like, all right, they got dire wolf, then it's going to be mammoth, then it's going to be Jurassic World, and we're all screwed. Hey, maybe the dinosaurs can fight AI for us and we'll be saved.
Yo, that would make such a badass movie. They totally run out of ideas for movies, and that one's never been done. Robots versus dinosaurs. Well, we all sit there and just like watch it play out.
Oh my, dude, that's so bad.
Hey, I think it'd be better success than Snakes on a Plane or Cowboy versus Alien or whatever. Right?
I think it's a great premise, man. Like that.
Well, they got to throw some idiot humans in there that run around and get eaten. I mean, that's like the whole point of the movie, isn't it? All the Jurassic movies, people get eaten.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean, that would make such a great spoof movie, though. It's like, one military is like making the AI and like all that, then the other one's like just de-extincting all these like and like crazy dinosaurs so they can go to war with each other. That'd be hilarious.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is Terminator and Jurassic Park owned by the same movie producer? I think we can make this happen.
Well, you got to make sure they bring back the T-Rex version that's like a lizard, not the one that's like a chicken they always talk about in science. So, you got to get them right because they got to be terrifying.
I think it would actually be a great premise if they went to go bring it back in its most accurate form and they have like computer models showing it like a lizard and stuff, like you thought. But
And
then
then
like when it hatches, it just
dinosaur.
grew to be like literally a chicken. And it like a huge literal chicken with like massive teeth and little arms. You know what I mean? Like I think that would be
Chicken
great.
versus
Just a
Godzilla.
giant chicken.
Yeah.
Maybe a
Like
giant,
like,
giant chicken versus
That
Godzilla.
sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Could you imagine the Japanese guy just pointing at it and go, "Look at the big cock."
So
Listen, you can have the massive chicken.
Large.
Oh my God!
You can have the massive chicken smash up a pet store full of cats. I'm just saying. Like there's the possibilities are endless.
Oh my God! You have to do it in their language though, make it so much better. You get the subtitles. Oh, sorry. Oh my God!
We've gone completely off topic.
Look at the size of that cock.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, and it's smashing pussy in cat in the. You got it. I'm glad.
All right. So since I'm going to keep it on topic, and shout out to Cal. Boom. We've got nature.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
That's a calendar.
So here we go. We've got January already passed. There we've got one nature's talk, and then look at February. She's a little prickly. She's a little bit of a prickly,
fuzzy there,
right there.
oh my God!
Holy moly!
Look at that little prick.
That one's a hit in the BDSM community, I bet.
Oh shit! Look, that one's even got two balls on it. Nice shadowing. So
Oh my God!
Look at that prick.
Pricks in the sky. Pricks
Oh.
on the ground.
Oh my God!
It's got a whole calendar full of them.
Oh yeah! Shout out Calix sent it to me. You gotta rep it. Oh, there we go. We got a ball.
Whoa! Holy moly!
We've got a shaft.
Man, that's rock hard. Eh?
Yeah, for real. Lord.
Calix sent me a calendar full
Should
of.
have been painted black.
Is it gonna focus? Not gonna focus. Shit, we're being censored. It's not letting us see nature's cocks. It's just an island. All right, so that was June. So June was a very crusty, scorched cock rock of an island.
That's like really explicit.
Hey, I'm surprised there's no centerfold there.
Visuals, all right. Like this is.
Does it have like a centerfold, or
and then
gonna have one in a Budweiser bikini.
We've got a little stunty one for July, so it's a so stunty.
It's a chode.
All right, we're gonna get a sneak peek. We're only going to number 8, August. Whoa, look at that! Is that a dike or is that a stick? I don't know. Maybe it's both.
I don't think that a dike would be built like that.
Food out to the flowing river, so I don't know. Like.
Oh my God!
All right, I'll use this opportunity real quick to sidetrack the way that I was gonna before, but I did want to give a shout out to Ken Wheeler for his recent video that he did on the holographic principle and the bifurcation. You know, it really took an episode that Nathan and I had done and concept that I had discussed with Nathan and Bernie actually, right? Um, and did a video on like 2 weeks ago, and it took it and kind of brought it into that realm where not only did it kind of reiterate a lot of what I was saying about it, but it also expanded on it too, and I thought that was really cool. So if anybody watching hasn't had a chance to check that video out yet, strongly recommend it. It's very, very neat. He does a great job explaining it. So dude's out there doing God's work all the time, in my opinion. And that was not an exception to the rule. So,
Hey, Bernie, they're still censoring you, man. They don't trust you.
Right? I'm all blurry now because I was showing nature's shots of rock cock.
right. Ken, we talked about Ken. Now back to the cocks.
Back to the rock cocks. There's December. This is Christmas for you. Just nip.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, this one's a cold cock. That's ice. That's ice cold.
Oh my, dude. You know what? It's like that space adventure with all those women on it. You just need a couple big brass fuel cells to go on the sides of it so that you can really understand what they were doing up there.
Oh, now Calix is demanding the mushroom, so we're going to go through all the way through. There's the next one.
Now,
boom.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Is that a mushroom?
Yep, sure is.
That's a fungi of a fungi.
German helmet.
Now you see, if we had Mud Fossil on, he would be up there telling us, no, guys, these are actual real penises.
This is a Titan cock. All right, so this is a protruding. Yeah. All right.
We're also getting censored for this.
Oh, watch this be the one episode that trends.
Oh,
can we say viral? Everybody,
their money back. Sorry, what was that, Mike?
can we say viral?
Well, after seeing all those weenies, there's a good chance that it's gonna be there's some something's gonna be viral. I mean,
oh man.
It's a birthday party, all right? And, it's just a bunch of dudes. It's not a sausage party. It's a rock cock party. Yeah.
Hey, you got any good pictures of caves or something? I mean, you're only on one
I was going to say, man, it's your birthday. You can do what you want, but, I mean, there's... I don't know. If it was my birthday party,
Here's that water. Bernie, here's the water I just froze.
There we go. Oh,
what were you? Oh.
All right.
Interesting. Is that like a... Oh, that's the shape of the bowl, isn't it, at the bottom? Look like there's a triangle on top.
Looks like there's an air bubble got in there somehow.
What you got going on there in the center, though, Mike? You got like a circle with a cross in the middle of that, no? Is that the bowl?
There's a bowl.
No.
That's not the bowl? Well, you have a circle with a cross in the middle of it, man. Bring it back into that
I
other
see
light.
that too. That's not the bowl.
It is perfectly dead center in a circle with a cross. I mean, you cannot see it in this light, though.
Yeah, lift it off the
had it
table.
before.
Yeah. Lift it up again, Mike.
You could kind of see the cross there, but it was so clear before, man. You could see it. Circle, it was a bullseye.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
There it is.
Right there.
There it is.
What?
And a dot in the middle.
Oh, look at it matches the pictures Bernie was showing the other day.
It
Of the four little things.
That's pretty wild.
Dude, that's like an ether field right there.
What'd you do to that water?
My structured water machine infuses hydrogen and also spins the water.
That's no joke. That worked. There it is.
More
It's also
evidence.
very clear in the center, which is unusual. Usually you have all the distinct, like white, whatever, like crystal structure situation that goes on there in the center. It's generally centric.
Hey, Mike, before that
Yeah.
melts, get some high quality pictures of it.
Yep.
Mike, there's layering in that too. There's square layering as it's built up, and it almost looks like a sapphire the way that it's built up.
I'm gonna put it back in the freezer. I don't think it's 100% frozen, so I'm gonna put it back in, and after the show, I'll take some pictures. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
Well done. See what happens when you listen to Bernie? You get great ideas. That's wild though. It was a straight cross at the bottom center.
Yeah, with the circle right around it. That's the top of the middle.
Essentially, I think the Templar symbol. That's
pretty
fascinating.
much.
Well, I'll take some pictures after. What I'll try to do is try to pop the ice out of the container and then put it on a black surface on the bottom so we can see the definition inside the water.
Just make sure you get a couple pictures first. Just in
Definitely.
case
Yeah,
it breaks
well,
on the bottom.
But it looks like there was some bubbles in there that formed inside. It was weird because I know, like this hydrogen generator will infuse about 770 parts per billion as far as hydrogen infusion, and then it also spins it too. So it's got the magnetic component. So it's got a couple of different modes that you could put it on, right?
That's cool. I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah, they got them on Amazon for $189 Canadian, so it's like 140 US, maybe 130 US.
That's not bad.
So my wife got a pretty good deal on it. She got it for $45 at one of the discount. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. There's places that sell structured water. I don't know how long they stay in business for, but I know they used to have them when I lived, and it's expensive. It's something like $7 US a gallon.
Yeah, like I have my own machine in the locker that I built. I used to build them and make my own structured water, put it through a set of neodymium magnets, spin it for about a week, and then drink it. And it was definitely a change in the water texture. It felt like it was heavier, a lot heavier. And then, and the other thing too, I put piezo transducers on the side of the metal container and resonated 528 hertz into it for a week.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's cool.
So I know the water can retain those energies. I have a friend that's been working on it for about 30 years. So he kind of taught me a few tricks on how to really infuse energies into the water.
So that actually brings it right back to what I was saying about what Ken said. Because he started talking about water and how that had to do with all the fractal nature of just reality in itself, and how water and how it can be structured, is the perfect analogy because it is of the whole, right? So he was saying that the same as water is like a whole, it's also all the little bits and pieces that it's made up of, but it is of the whole, right? So he was saying that it's that very nature of it that makes it bridge the gap that brings the energy to matter. So without a water component, you can actually have light, which is something we generally know, right? But it's not ever framed that way.
Yeah. So by putting the frequencies, you're putting all the atomic structure into resonance with the frequency that you're infusing it with, whether it's 432, 528, 760, and so on. those the water retains this frequency. So by spinning it at the same time, and then I inject it through a small tube with neodymium magnets surrounding that tube. I'm also compressing the electromagnetic field of the structure of the water going through it. So I'm doing 3 different things to this water in the same time. So
that the light might be ionizing the water too.
I think so too. I think that light is an important component of it, and I've heard Dan Winters talk about it. He's been working on the structured water stuff for a long time. So yeah, definitely sunlight is a definite component as far as like killing bacterias in the water.
Well, I've also found that leaving the white monoatomic, especially the gold, out in the sun actually then turns it into the purple clusters, the plasmid clusters. So there's something with the photon creating the ability for them to bond together into these plasmids and larger structures.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now. I'll make my coffee with it, regular just drinking water. I'll put it in a bottle and just put it in the refrigerator, keep it nice refrigerated. Seems to hold the hydrogen content of the water or seal it up so no hydrogen can escape from the water. So yeah, so far I like it.
Hey Bernie, what you just showed, I'm pretty sure that's an example of when you're putting standing waves into anything, like you need to be able to get the standing wave to repeat macroscopically, but then also at the molecular level too, to be able to form the bigger like the larger clusters like that. Like you need to be able to get it smaller so it could bond in those specific
it's like
moments.
everybody's seen that.
That light frequency is very, very high. So it has the band, the frequency bands in it to be able to allow for the higher geometries to occur at the microscopic level.
Well, one thing I do know, like as far as like the nanostructures inside the water, when you get that experiment where you put that steel plate and you put a transducer underneath, and then you pour the salt on it and you put a frequency and it makes a geometrical shape. While when I put the transducers into the water, it's actually doing the exact same thing at the molecular level in the water. Nice. So I'm actually right, exactly. So that's why if you take that water and you freeze it, that's why you're going to see those interesting patterns and structures show up in the water, because I programmed it that way. Like I'm probably going to add some transducers to my setup and just put the signal generator on it. And that could also have some interesting effects with the nanostructures of the water, right?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if you did that bowl test like 3 times, if it still came out the same way.
Yeah. Well, I like to put a couple of transducers on the side of the container while it's doing its thing, and put it for a couple of cycles, and then freeze it and see if there's any change.
Yeah.
Now, in the experiment that I'm doing right now, which is just like it's just salt, like crystals. That's all it is. It's regular table salt. Right. I actually observed something today that I've never seen before, and I found it quite fascinating. So I made a super saturation, but I made sure to skim it, to make sure that there was no solids in it whatsoever. I put a piece of quartz, and then I put the center, wire into the water, and let it run. Right. And I made sure that it was perfectly still. Also worth noting that I used like a cauldron. Literally, it's like a bowl, but it's an iron bowl. And what I noticed was something I'd never seen before when working with saturates like that, which was only when I shined a light in it, it actually had little tiny light refractions, prismatic light refractions that were occurring in the solution, but all the crystallization was at the bottom. Like there was no visible particulate in the saturated at all. And I tried to photograph it because it was so unique, but it will not, I cannot get it to capture, like no matter what I do with flash or anything.
Yep. I've tried to document that so many times, and it just cannot be caught on camera. And it's like the little nano crystals, and what it is the ionic metals and the ionic state where it's bonded with the water, but still there suspended in, and how it's causing the diffraction in the water.
Right, that's exactly it. Like there's a structuring of the crystal in the water that's occurring, but it's not at the point of actually having crystallized yet. So it's not suspended exactly. It's not a suspended crystal. But for whatever reason, it's just I couldn't get it to capture. But it was beautiful though. It looked like opalescent in its nature. You know, and you get every color in the rainbow just randomly flashing about in the pot.
Try a mirror.
Yeah, maybe, but I had to shine very bright light directly at it to get it to do it.
Yeah, it's hard. I've tried on so many different cameras to capture exactly what you're speaking of.
It's angle dependent too. So if you move your head, it goes away. You know, or it'll change color until it goes. It's all angle viewer dependent. So I don't know.
Hey Bernie, I gotta head out. Out for the night, Bernie.
I got to get going too. My mom's demanding that I get there, and my poor friend Giles has been here waiting for me to get off. But one last thing, we are looking at a 24 karat gold piece here, and those are straight gold crystals.
Wow,
going off of pure 24 karat gold right there.
That's awesome, dude.
It's like snowflakes. It's wild stuff. So many different meta materials. And why not finish it off with an example of Bernie's blood homunculus. Blood homunculus. It looks like a fish almost, but no, that was blood and a little bit of saliva, and it grew into that thing. And there you have, that's the gold clusters from that crystal. And again, as this thing was growing, like the blood cells on the inside and then the mucous membrane on the outside. And it was like only this size when I put it in, and it grew 10 times the size. So
dude, that thing looks like it's gonna crawl out of the jar. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I am terrified of the homunculus legends, because just putting a drop of blood in your spit into this and it will grow and grow. Like,
yeah, so but you understand that you're probably quantumly entangled with whatever that thing is.
100%.
Oh no.
100%. That's the whole point, is that you're quantum entangling with the monoatomics, right? This homunculus thing, yeah, that scares the shit out of me, and I'm quantum entangled with some beast living in the sewers below that I flushed. But this stuff up here is also quantum entangled when I consume and drink it, and it's already...
Well, okay, so this is the most blue thing that I've ever said. So I don't know that I believe what I'm about to say, okay? However, proposing that that abomination that's in there is quantumly entangled with you, okay? If it too is in the homunculus in which, right, wouldn't you potentially derive the benefit of the difference that it causes on whatever that is to you? Like, potentially? Potentially, right? Like, so you might not even need to consume such a thing just by virtue of it being suspended within it.
Yeah, there's so many questions, way more questions than answers when doing a lot of these experiments, because it's just like, what the actual fuck is that? And why is it alive? And why does it keep growing? And I don't know. I just don't know.
Because cell division, and you're
I do.
increasing it into
I
a
do.
state of cell division, man.
I do know. It's that I know that because this thing lived and grew, that most likely, whatever the heck you make your homunculus out of crossing an egg and semen of one animal and your own, and it will hatch because even your blood and saliva grows into something. So what would a fertilized egg grow into? Most likely a real homunculus. I don't know. I ain't gonna try
terrifying.
it. It is terrifying. If anyone wants to go out and be the first, well, you can be quantum entangled to your bastard half chicken abomination. But you know, make us famous. And
I think that's infamous. That's what that is. You know, like there's certain things, man. Like,
I see why you call it a chicken. It does look like a little cock in there.
oh, dude, yo, that thing looks like a cryptid, man. Like that's
right?
that's like I don't know. That makes me feel so uncomfortable. Nothing makes me feel uncomfortable. Why do I feel this way?
Because that's
it's
not right.
alive, and it was
That's not right. That's why I called it an abomination. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Holy shit.
That's why I left it at that. I was like, I ain't going no further. That shit's just straight creepy.
Yo, get some plasma going in there so it like
Nope.
starts, doing the thing.
Does it swim faster when women are around?
Experiments for others to do.
Faster.
Experiments for others. I've trailblazed with blood and spits, and someone else can put in their sweat and semen and see what happens, but that ain't me. But if that's you, go for it, record it, and post it on YouTube. So
not a chance.
Just not on my channel.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Bro, I'm gonna have nightmares about what I just saw.
I'm never gonna look at rocks the same again.
Or chickens.
Right, yeah, I'm gonna have a nightmare about falling into a goddamn bed of cactus cocks, for Christ's sake. Like, like
pick your poison, boys. Which hellscape do you want? Do you want that double deck, or do you want this double cock, or do you want Devil's Raw?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the bad one.
Devil's Carrot. Right? Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's a real prickler for you.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's bad.
Very educational.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to throw your spit fetus right onto that thing, man. I'm telling you.
Ain't no fetus, ain't no egg, ain't no sperm, just a drop of blood and a little bit of spit is all you need to get your own flesh fish looking fucking homunculus.
Dr. Frankenstein, Bernie.
And someone actually just Googled homunculus and found out what I was talking about. Yes, it is shocking. It is disgusting. I ain't going to try it, but hey, if you want to be the first, I will judge you and laugh, but it will be funny.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah. I tell you, man, the chat's the best.
Wait until they find out that the Emerald Tablets means that you have to urinate into a goddamn pot for 6 years and then boil it for 3.
What are you talking about, Sancho Spinacci? I don't know if I agree with that, but to each their own. To each their own.
Hey, listen,
my channel's now shadow banned for showing those.
I got a jet, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Have a good one, Mike.
Yeah, I should get going too. Thank you, all gentlemen, and thank you, everyone, wishing me a happy birthday, and those that sent birthday gifts. I greatly appreciate it. And we will be back again very soon with all these lovely gentlemen. Maybe tomorrow because it's Friday. Mike, you're still here? We doing it tomorrow? I guess.
Yep.
All right.
Probably
Well,
going to be a thing.
well, on that
Friday at
note,
9.
we will see you all in 22 hours.
Fun the
Awesome.
homunculus.
Happy birthday, Bernie.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Make your own homunculus today. Not.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just Bernie. Bernie just like